While you're in school, you might be deciding on whether or not you want to work. I do believe there are some pros and cons, so I'm just going to be going over those. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get started. So the first pro to working while in school is that you will probably learn how to manage your time. You're going to develop some time management skills. When you have your classes, and then you have work on top of that, then you have a social life. If you have a social life, I don't have a social life, but if you have one, then it teaches you to be intentional with your time and like how you spend it, so that you can, like, you know, keep up with your schoolwork, keep up with your job, you know, keep up with your friends and everything, like how you spend your time. So the second pro to working while in school is that it teaches you money management. It gives you the ability to kind of experiment before you become, like, you know, an adult who's not in school, who has actual bills to pay. You can kind of like develop good habits now that'll benefit you when you're like outside of school. You can start learning how to budget earlier than a lot of your peers who are not working, so that when you're graduated or when you're not in school anymore, you already have your stuff together while they're still trying to figure it out with their, like, you know, first job or something. So the third pro to working while in college is obviously you will have the freedom to buy things. I know some people's parents like provide for them and they give them money to get the stuff that they need, but like chances are they're not giving you, unless you're just like super rich or your parents just like really love you like that, like they're not giving you money to like buy every single thing that you want. But when you have a job, you can literally buy whatever you want. Like they can't tell you you can't get this or you can't get that. You can literally get whatever you want, and that freedom is such a good feeling. It's just very liberating. So the fourth pro to working while in college is that you can start paying your loans off early if that's something that you want to do. I know I started paying mine off early, and I'm still not too sure where I want to go with that, but it's a good idea. I don't see the wrong in it, like if you have the means to, of course, so that when you graduate you have a lighter load that you have to like pay off. And the next pro to working while in college is the compound interest. The earlier you start investing, like the more compound interest is gonna do you right. Your money is gonna grow a lot more if you start when you're like, you know, in your teens, early 20s, versus if you start like when you're like in your 40s or 50s. So when you're older and you have a lot of money, you're gonna be like, wow, I'm really glad I started investing earlier. Like nobody ever says they regret investing, you know, from an early age. Like literally nobody says that. So like if you start working, you can start investing. It doesn't even have to be a lot. It'll still put you ahead of the game by a good amount. And the last pro that I thought of to working while in school is that you will kind of learn early on that it's just a job. When I first started working my first job, I treated it so seriously. Like I took it so seriously, and they weren't paying me enough to do that. Like I was treating it like my life depended on it. What I didn't realize is that one, they're not paying me enough to care this much. Two, it's just a job. I can easily get another one. And three, you're expendable. As easily as you can walk out on them, they can easily fire you just like that. It would have been a dark place if I still took these employers seriously. So those are the main pros that I came up with. Now let's move on to the cons of working while you're in school. So the first con to working while in school is that you may have less time for fun experiences. If you're at work, you can't be hanging out with your friends like all the time. You can still do it with the right time management, you know, just work around your schedule, but like you might have less time to do the things that you want to do. This is what my dad told me, like, why would you want to work when you literally have, why would you want to work now when you literally have the rest of your life to work? And I definitely get that. Like some people might want to enjoy their youth, enjoy these last few years of being unemployed, of not needing to work. So the next con is that you will probably be tired, which is pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, even if you're not working a job in school, you will still be tired, but like it'll be a little bit more because, like, you know, you're doing more things and stuff. So the third con is that the job might be stressful on top of everything else that you're already facing. On-campus jobs don't seem to be too stressful, or at least the ones I've come across. I don't know about off-campus jobs, unless you absolutely need this job to stay afloat. If your job is like super stressful, like that's not, it might not be something you want to continue doing. And this kind of goes into my next con, which is that working a job might interfere with your schoolwork. If it's stressful, then like, you know, that stress might, you know, get in the way, or your work might start getting in the way of school, which is like the main reason why you're there. If your work or your job is interfering with school, then it's probably not the smartest idea to stay at that job unless you absolutely need it. Again, I understand some people's situations are a little bit more dire or a little bit more difficult, and those are basically all the cons. As you can see, there are slightly more pros to cons, but you might weight these things a little bit differently. Do I regret working right now? No, I don't, because I have been saving up a lot of money, which is good. I've been investing a lot of money, which is good. I've been able to pay off a loan, which is pretty good. Like, I've met some cool people through my job, so overall I don't regret working while in school. There are times though where I do question, like, why am I doing this, but like that's more so because of my specific job, not because of working in general, but just because of like where I currently work. So that's kind of like unrelated. Yeah, if you guys want me to talk about my first on-campus job experience, I would love to do that because I got a lot to say. So yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you want to get a little, you know, a little rundown on that. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.